Right. So let's start. So, okay, can you tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your work experience and how it has led you to where you are today?
Okay. So my name is Nazri Noran. I just turned 45 on Monday. So thank you. Um, so I started in radio or broadcasting about 20 years ago. So I was not actually into broadcasting, or neither I know anything about broadcasting. So the story is a little bit of backstory. I was After I finished school, I wanted to find out what I could do, but I always loved entertainment or music. In fact, I started out, jamming with my friends and all that, having my own little underground band, lah, as you say, right? So we started doing gigs and all that after school, jamming with friends. I guess those are the things that kept me kind of sane, lah, from studying and all that. So we started being a little bit more serious, doing more gigs, and at that time there was no social media. Not throwing off my age, which I already did, but we were just into it and sharing our little bit of hobbies with each other, and that's where this new group of bands or independent bands came up and started doing shows, small shows and all that. But it also got me more curious about entertainment. So I kind of knew friends of friends of friends. Then I said, maybe corporate life is not for me, which at that time I was starting to get myself into law, but I guess that was not what I wanted to do. So then I got in touch with my friends who was working for a record label. So I started there and jumped from one record label to another, and also got into managing some local artists, or being a more of a PA, not really a manager, but so started to have a bit more experience. Then I was jobless for a bit, and then I got to know, in fact, Dr. Jake. So through a friend. Um, then I was really curious because at that time, this was in 2001 lah, yeah. I wanted to get involved in radio broadcasting because he was with Hits FM at that time. So I was bugging him, wanted to find out if there's a slot for me that I could really learn about the business. And one point he said, no, there's no vacancy. And then I just said, you know what, I'm willing to do it for free. I just want to know, right? I guess I was, when you're young, you just wanted to know, what can the world offer to you, and just wanted to find out if I had something that I could be a part of. And Hits FM, and I was a fan of Hits FM, but I had no idea how the business ran. But so I got in touch with him, and then he put me, as you can say, as internship lah. Learn a bit about the business and all that without getting paid. And I didn't expect to get paid at that point lah, because okay lah, I got nothing to lose. Let's learn lah, right? So, and then maybe about 2 months later and all that, he said, hey, I got a job for you. You want to try it? Become a producer? I said, okay, why not? Let's try it. So it started from there. I joined Hits from then, and then I can say the rest is history. So I was with Astro Radio for 20 years until last year. And then I was doing a lot of stations. So I learned about the business, being a producer, being a music programmer, being a production engineer, everything that you can think of that has to do anything with radio broadcasting. I've tried it. Basically, I wanted to learn about the business. And then I changed radio stations from Hits to Express to Sina to Era. And that was the biggest turning point of my career, handling the #1 radio station and the biggest radio station in the country, which was Era. And then I got in touch with, I was involved with a consulting radio station in Jakarta, one of the biggest radio network now. At that point, they were still growing. Now they have more than 7 stations, and still growing. So for 10 years, I was involved in consulting the radio station in Jakarta. just early last year, 2020 was 2021, sorry, was the turning point of my career when I got offered to join Media Prima Audio. At that point, it was Ripple. So they offered me a position as a CEO, and I was like, wow, okay. Didn't think it would go this far, but I got it. I took the job and I changed the company to Media Prima Audio and rebrand everything and trying to take it to the next level. So I started from below, finding my way out, technically learning about the business. I guess I did not learn about entertainment nor about broadcasting. It was totally different. But I guess the passion brought me to this. So here I am today.
Question.
Yes.
Although this is not related to the next question, I was going to ask, when you were offered the producer job and you were still an intern, were you afraid? Because I would be afraid. Like, I've never done, and suddenly I become a producer. Like, how do you overcome that?
Of course, I was afraid. At every level, when you're offered something that somehow you don't know whether you could do it or not.
Yeah.
I guess, but if you don't take the risk, you won't know whether you know how to do it or not. Because if you were offered and somebody at that level offered you a position that they think you can do the job, obviously they see something in you,
Yeah.
right? It's not just simply, hey, you want the job, you take it, you know. But to me, it's like producer. What it's like? That's like, hey, this is a really high skilled job. You know, you're actually producing something. And then if it was offered to you, then obviously, you know, at that point, Dato Jake saw something in me that he thought that I could do the job. If not, then why would he do that? You know, it was a number one radio station in the country at that time, you know. So I said, why not? Let's do it. Just teach me the curves. I'm willing to learn. And as you know, I was learning already. You know, I was taking out my time, not getting paid and all that, learning. Now I got a position to do it and actually earn money. Why not, right? So I guess the thing about me is, and this is the thing that I kind of look back after this career of mine that I have, is that everything that was thrown to me, I always say yes first. You know, without thinking whether I could do the job or not. And this is what I keep telling a lot of new and upcoming, whether it's graduates or people in the company that wants to grow in the company and all that, right? And then I see it that way. I put myself as an example. You know, if your senior or your HOD offering you a position that they see a potential in you, and it's of course growth lah. It's not putting you to something that is totally like macam out of your comfort zone. They see something in you, accept it. You know, sometimes you don't know how to do it 100%, but the thing about life and also work, right? You learn about it as you go along. There's no fixed manual to say that this is how you do it and you have to follow this 100%. It tends to change anyway, right? It's like when you buy something, a new product, whether it's a gadget or even a washing machine or refrigerator, right? There's always a manual. Do you even read the manual? No, right? You figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, when you are doing troubleshooting, then only you're reading it. Okay, what did I do wrong and all that? How did I do? Why is it just blank? You know, it's not working. But other than that, you just focus and getting it right and figuring it out. So I think majority of this, in terms of your journey, is figuring out what to do. Because if somebody already set the roadmap for you, now you just have to walk on the roadmap, right? And follow it. Just ensure that, you know, if you feel that, you know, I'm lost, then you go back to your HOD and all that and just ask, am I going in the right way? Because if I'm not, please tell me, assist me on how to do this, right? Because obviously they're not trying to tell you that, okay, you're independent, you're on your own. Whatever happens, I'm not going to, of course not, right? So guidance is always there. Just don't be afraid to take it, because you will tend to fail anyway, right? But failure is not about, oh, I screwed up, I done something wrong, I'm a failure. No, failure is lessons. You learn from it. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So based on my research, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been the CEO of Media Prima Audio for about 6 months now. So, so far, how has this first 6 months, been for you, and how do you expect the next 6 months to look like?
Oh, it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. I've never done a town hall with a bunch of people, like maybe in 100. I've always done it like with probably 10 or 15 people at most. But doing it in front of 100 people at the first time as a CEO, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I was like, what do I say? I might say something wrong and all these kind of things. Yes, it is nerve-wracking. It's not easy. Everybody thinks like, wow, being a CEO, great. You got a nice office, you got this, you got the perks and all these kind of things and all that. Basically, you're it lah, right? Everybody dreams of that position. But I kind of know this because, Datuk Jake told me a lot lah, because I always look up to him. So when he was a CEO, I keep asking him, what he does, what does it take to be one and all this kind of thing. So I think the thing about me is I like to get myself involved with successful people. I talk to people like that. Not just Datuk Jake, obviously, he brought me up in this industry, but it's also everybody else. So I like to talk to them and share my thoughts and get their thoughts and ask questions and learn from them. So I guess for you to understand about the overall, and just being in that position and how they do it is also to understand, the struggles and failures as well, but not just the success. So for me also having that as a guidance and try to get through this position is also about, okay, you know what? You're not going to be perfect. That's definite, but allow yourself to be, obviously it's about humility and all that, right? Showing that, I was also where I started just like them from the bottom and build myself up. But also understanding them and connect with them and paying attention to them and show that, I'm just as human as everybody else. Like, I just have the title CEO. That's it, right? And also getting guidance along the way. And the great thing about Media Prima is it's a big group, so we have a lot of other CEOs and all that. But also talking to them and understanding how they do things and how they manage the team and what are the things that I can learn, especially in the company and how it works and the culture and all that. So from time to time I do that, but I also do a lot of reading and research, whether it's about business and about people, how there are the companies and all this kind of thing. So I guess I have to get more involved into that. So the nerve will definitely be there no matter what position you are in, right? Now, with I'm being a CEO, everybody looks up to me and my decisions. And sometimes I think about, if I'm going to make this decision, is this going to be the right decision, right? Of course, it's not going to be easy. Now I have to look at overall. This means the finance, the admin department, the every department that there is under the Media Prima audio roof. So, and then if I don't understand it, I don't immediately or don't acknowledge my sense of, okay, I don't know how to do it. I don't understand this. I sit back, I do the research first. I won't make decisions there and then come back with a better solution after finding out every single thing that has something to do with that decision. So I think I have to be a bit more careful of that, because if I show that I don't know or I have no knowledge about things, and I relay that to my team that reports to me or even the staff under Media Prima Audio, then they will lose their confidence. That's what we don't want to do. And I learned that, of course, from where I was before for Metro Radio. And the great thing is, the training that was given to me when I was there for almost 20 years has taught me a lot, because there was training about being a leader and all these kind of things and all that. So I think that helps totally a lot. Yeah, it's not easy lah. It's nerve-wracking. Until today, I still feel the nerves coming into the office and telling my team and staff, okay, what do we do today to ensure that we are successful, right? Because every day there's something happening. This morning I just had, or we had announced our first or our latest Flydle on Fly FM, the new announcer search. So yesterday there was an interview with Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Azmin Ali, which is the Senior Minister of MITI,
Yeah.
right? I meet a lot of these people now at my level, and I guess that's part of the job that I have to do now, right? So I have to understand, I have to get my knowledge, I have to equip myself in order for me to carry myself as a CEO of this company.
I see. So I know it's not easy, but you took the role wholeheartedly as the CEO of Media Prima. So what are your plans ahead for Media Prima Audio?
We have a lot of plans. If you have seen in the media, this month alone, we have done groundbreaking things. Number one, we have launched our 5th radio station, Mola FM, which is
I saw that one.
Yeah, catering to Pantai Timur.
Yes.
So that launched with a big bang and got a lot of great feedback, positive feedback on that launch. And we're not even 1 month into the station since we started. Then we collaborated with a partnership with Uga X, formerly known as Sense Media. They are the radio network in East Malaysia, particularly for stations for Kupi Kupi FM, which is #1 in Sabah, and also City Plus, which is a Chinese station for catering for business, SME, and PMEBs. So these guys are really, how to say, professional and great at what they do over there. So it was a great timing for us to do a partnership because we needed to expand to East Malaysia and learn from them, because it is Malaysia, it's part of Malaysia, but it's a different market altogether because every region has different tastes and different socio-economy and all that. So I think it is important for us to understand this, and collaboration is the future, just like what we're doing now with the whole Media Prima group, which is TV, Rev Media, Big Three, etc. But partnering outside of Media Prima group as well is important for us to grow. But the future, definitely a lot more. There's a lot more partnerships coming up. I can't tell you in details because, you know, yes, we are growing, definitely. Media Prima Audio is hungry, and I love being a part of a network that is growing, because I guess that's the thing that I love most about being radio broadcasting, right? Is to start and restart something from scratch. I have set up radio stations before from zero, and I have rebooted a radio station and rebranded before. So that's what I'm doing now with Media Prima Audio to ensure that it is successful.
So what are the reasons for the establishment of Mola FM?
Mola FM I think was pretty easy because I believe it is needed for East Coast, especially in Kelantan and Terengganu. So Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang are considered the East Coast of Malaysia. They have different culture of doing things. Even the economy is different. The lifestyle is different. The thing about having a radio, especially traditional radio, is that it's something for them to have a connection. And if you understand this more, people in East Coast, especially at Kelantan, let's look at Kelantan, yeah. They're not like where we are in KL or Selangor or any other, you know, city centers, you know, that is focused on, you know, development and all that. They're developing differently. So in terms of entertainment, Kelantan, as you know, there's not much rather than its community or kenduri and all that. They don't have cinemas. They have very few malls, maybe only one, right? So most of the time, if they hang out, they go to some eateries or some community events like DK Barat and all that. Even if there is some event, they cannot be men and women at the same area, so they have to be split, and even females or women or ladies cannot perform, right? So some rules are different. So hence entertainment is either that, it's either TV, radio, social media to some extent, because you need to understand that the population over there, they are different in terms of the needs. You know, they're not like us. We can have maybe access to gadgets and Wi-Fi all over the place, right? So there's some limitations to that. But for them, having radio as an entertainment, they need connection. They want to talk to people. They're very community driven, where they like just like to chat, right, and hang out. So during the time that they don't hang out, what do? Stay at home, right? So if radio is their companion, then they'll be tuning into it. So we have Mole and the announcers who speak the lingo of Kelantan and Terengganu that caters to that market. And we do play songs that no other radio station, like let's say under our network, like Hot FM, we play the, mainstream pop hits and all that. But in Kelantan, Terengganu, they still love their dangdut. They still love their DK Barats and all that, which we have to add into the playlist to cater to that audience. Even the point of having connection like this weekend, tomorrow, well, actually today is their weekend. So Friday and Saturday is their weekend, right? We are at Terengganu having makan-makan, eating nasi dagang, nasi kukus and all that. It's just those simple gatherings that we do that connects with the audience. They love to be a part of something. They want to be associated to something. The more closer you are, and that's where they're connected. So a different system that we built for Molek, where our on-ground team is located in Kota Baru, so they can be up there and every day doing crossovers and all that with our vehicle wrapped in Molek branding, right? And then the studio is actually broadcasted from here, Shipentas, right? So you can hear from over there, but they are broadcasting from here. So it's that, and also we're doing massive campaign. We're giving away Nissan Navara as a grand prize, and also can win up to 10,000 ringgit. And there's more coming because of this association that they want to be a part of. They feel like they belong to something that they can love, that is local to them. Yeah. And because of that language and lingo barrier, because everything is, you speak Bahasa Malaysia or speak English or speak Chinese, but they want something that is like, hey, I gotta speak my own lingo. Kena kecek Kalate, Terengganu and all those kind of things. So lack of entertainment in those lingos is really needed over there.
Well, I didn't know what Molek was. I thought it's another Malay radio station until you told me about it. I think that's really very smart. No, yeah, nobody really catered to that market. I think there's a huge market there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know this. If you watch TV, there's nothing that's catering to the Kelantanese audience or Terengganu audience, right? So radio plays that big part to really focus on areas, or that is really needed in terms of building their culture and championing something that they are close to. That's what radio is about anyway, right? It's being close to the people. It's being close to the community. It's being connected. Before social media came, radio was the social media, because we are connecting, we talk to people, we are on the ball. Anything happens like flood and banjir or tragedy happens in the country and all that, we'll be the first to update you.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't need to charge batteries, nothing whatsoever. You have a transmitter, you have FM and all that, you dial in and you listen. We'll give you update. Even that's what we did when the big flood happened in the last month, right?
Yeah.
We were the first to update everything. That means our announcer were updating on the weekend and all that, or massive banjir in Selangor, Taman Sri Muda was happening, people are stuck. And then Pahang, banjir went up, Mentakap and all those kind of things. Who do you call? Emergency hotlines, the NGOs, the people and all those kind of things and all that. That's what radio does. It connects to people. Where everyone else still waiting for updates and all that. Newspaper will take time, TV will wait for the news bulletins and all that. Radio was the first to just, okay, let's stop the music and give them, updates about the situation that's happening in the country.
I mean, because one of the questions is how is radio stations relevant? How do we make radio stations stay relevant? I think that is one of the good points for us for these questions. But apart from that, maybe how to, maybe not say relevant, maybe how to stay competitive in running a radio stations with other like Spotify and all those other things.
Yeah. I mean, I get this question a lot.
I'm sure, yeah.
I have a Spotify account on my own. Yeah, I do have iTunes accounts on my own and all that. Yeah, I'm into it. I love music. I just love music. But here's the thing, though, right? Radio is different. Radio is programmed to be your companion, right? Music, you can, I have my workout playlist. After a month, I get tired of it because okay, the same music again. I just don't want to create my own playlist. I'm just too lazy, you know. But radio, they do that for you, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's something new here. I want to listen to. Oh, it's great, And then in between, I get information from the announcer, the DJs, and all that. If I like this announcer, if they're funny or they're informative, their voice is sexy and all that. Okay, this guy's my friend. But at the same time, apart from commercials, I know everyone say, iklan lagi and all that, but then you gotta make money lah, because radio is free. No, we don't. There's no subscribing for but Spotify pun sama juga.
Yes.
Kalau you subscribe, no iklan lah. But you don't subscribe, then you hear the commercials lah. Same thing, right?
Yes.
But radio is not meant to do that because we have never subscribed to that. So we need the commercial. But we give information. That means if you're stuck in the traffic, we'll give you the traffic report, right? Then you say, why am I stuck in NKBE? Okay, then we give you the traffic report. That's what you want to have, right? Entertainment, but also information. And then news. Something happened. Suddenly, wow, why Shah Alam suddenly got reboot lah? Kereta terbalik, apa semua, bumbung hancur, apa semua. What happened? Right? Again, we give you update. What happened? So we give you factual news. In fact, we have done research during the pandemic saying that which platform was very important to you in terms of giving you the right factual news. Radio came number one because radio always give you something that is legit. Even though digital is fast, but they cannot trust digital because a lot of fake news.
That's true.
Right? Yeah, you get a lot of things fast, viral and all these kind of things, but it's not factual. A lot of it are, sorry my language, bullshit. And then they send the wrong things and like, oh shit, I gave you the wrong information, it's wrong, So that's the danger of being on digital, because everybody wants to become a journalist. Everybody wants to give information, but are you giving the right information? Right? So that's what we do, right? We have to give the right information, the factual news, so that we don't scare people, because sometimes it can hurt people when you give the wrong news, most of the time, not sometimes, most of the time, And because everybody don't check the legitness of that news, suddenly simply just say, oh, somebody died. It's like, come on, man. How can you do that, right? So these are the things that's not right. And we play that role. That means even though on air, we give the information, but we have other platforms. That means we grow our Facebook followers, we grow our Instagram followers, we grow our TikTok followers. In fact, Hot FM, our radio station, is the #1 radio channel that has the biggest following on TikTok. We have 1 million, right? YouTube, we're close to 1 million subscribers as well. So radio, yes, we are adapting to digital platforms and all that. So we open accounts in every platform to ensure that we are there, not just giving you the entertainment, the music, but we give you the other contents that you want to see and hear.
All right. So, with all the technological evolutions and, the constantly changing trends and behaviors over the years, what are the most, significant changes in the radio industry, and how have they affected radio consumption?
Definitely, it's of course we all know that digital plays a big part into this, right? It disrupted every business, not just radio. But like I said again just now, we also adapted digital. That means we have platform accounts that's available on every platform. Now we have already set up our super app that houses all 5 of our radio stations, which will soon include City Plus and Kupi Kupi FM with the partnership. So we're going to have 7 soon. And we're going to grow more. So that means we have variety of radio stations that you can listen to in different languages. So the app also will house not only the radio streamings, but also the podcast, video podcast. That's the future. that is something that we are going into very aggressively, especially this year. So podcast is the new future. And I guess the trend is always ever changing, because at one point there was like, there was DJs was cool, announcers was cool, influencers was cool, YouTubers was cool. Now the new term is podcasters. But you must understand, podcast is just another term. They're just doing long form and pre-recorded, and it's not really live lah. That means you talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Radio is live. That means whatever happens, I can change, and then immediately 1 minute later, somebody in the studio can say, okay, something just happened and all that. We want to update you latest news development and all that, right? But podcast is pre-recorded. You can talk about stuff, because everybody in the world now is doing podcasts. Started with Joe Rogan. Now he's monetizing it, right?
Yeah.
So he paved the way for all podcasting in the world. Now Mike Tyson is doing podcasting. Everyone, there'll be somebody doing some podcasting, whether it's a student or to professionals, to even ministers, to ex-ministers, all of that, because they want to share their life stories. They want to share something that they love to talk about. You may love to talk about something, right? You probably, I don't know, I'm just saying, right? You probably love sneakers. I want to talk about sneakers all day. I can talk about sneakers all day. Then people will be doing something like that to cater to people who love sneakers.
Yeah.
Right. So Audio Plus will be that. We'll be setting up that. We'll be finding new people who are into podcasting to do long form. There's also articles, that means information that is coming up from our pillars, MPB pillars, from Berita Harian, Free Malaysia Today, NST, Harian Metro. That means updates and all that. So you don't have to get out of our app. There's also solat timings, for the Muslims. There's going to be other stuff as well coming soon, gamification. If you have our app Audio Plus, when people are tuning into their favorite station, you can chat with friends who are in there. That means you've registered.
This is a new app coming out, is it? Or it's already out?
It's already up. It's already up. So this is it. This is Audio Plus.
Oh, okay.
You download and you get all our stations here. You can tune in. So if you go here, there's right now 4 stations. By next week, you have Mola FM, and by end of the month, you will get Kopi Kopi and City Plus. So, and then there's people chatting here and all that when you are in, So people are chatting live, us on air with each other and all this kind of thing. So yes, we are in the space. So apart from FM, we are also on digital. That means you can stream us everywhere. That means if we're not covered in the area on FM, you could be in some kampung area or even in Thailand or even Singapore, you still can tune into us. So that's the technology, and we have adapted to it, and we keep improving our platforms.
Yeah, that's cool. So what do you think will be your biggest challenge as the CEO of Media Prima Audio, and how do you plan to overcome the future challenges?
The challenge is always about competition, and it's always about new things that's coming up. Digital is never ending. There's always something coming up. There's always some, when people started when Facebook first came out, then everybody was like on Facebook, and suddenly Instagram, and then suddenly it was Twitter, then it's YouTube. There's so many things that's happening. Snapchat and all this kind of thing. So there'll be something new, and we're always aware of what's happening, and we want to adapt to it to ensure that whether this is relevant for us or not. So certain brands may be connected to it, like Bulletin FM. So it's more news type of radio station that we have. So maybe it's not catered to TikTok in some ways, but it's definitely on LinkedIn. So Bulletin is more informative and all that. So people who are into work, professional, business would like to see some sort of that information. So we are available on LinkedIn. So these are the things that we need to see and adapt. So those are the challenges that we always have to be aware. You don't know what's going to be coming up later on. But as long as we have to be at par and focus on our business to ensure that we are relevant in the market. And if we have to change and adapt, we have to. And this is what we did. When I joined last year, 1st June 2021, that's what I wanted to do. So we rebranded all of our radio station, including our company, renamed it to Media Prima Audio from Ripple. And then we changed the logos of our biggest radio stations, Hot FM and Fly FM. but change the name of other stations like 1FM to 8FM and Cool FM to Bulletin FM, and change the format as well. So we have to be up to date. We have to be relevant and stay connected. So if we're there, if we are in the minds of our audience, and also be aware of what's going on, and always seizing the moment, giving them the right information that they want to hear and the right information that they want to see on social, that's connected with our brand DNA and our target audience, and focus on our demographic, and change when we need to change, we can survive this, right? Because anything is a challenge. So I'm prepared for anything and everything, and I have to be prepared. And my challenge is always about competition. That's not just in the radio business, but everything that's out there.
I mean, one of the questions here is about internet radio, but I think you sum it up nicely with the Audio Plus. I think that's
Yes.
It settles everything. Someone
settles everything.
Yeah, it's in
Oh, we acknowledge we're definitely going to be in there. In fact, we're going to do a radio station just on Audio Plus that's not available on FM.
Yeah.
You will find out more of that lah. I can tell you more about that soon. I mean,
Sure.
you'll find out soon.
Okay, so to sum up our session for today, do you have any advice to graduates who are looking to venture into the radio industry?
Okay, so the thing about radio industry, don't term it as like radio. Even the fact that we change our network, our company name to Media Prima Audio is the future. Audio consists of radio, but it's audio, right? It's listening. So there's podcasting, there's video podcasting. Those are the things that people want now because it's long form, right? These are the things that you must understand how the radio world progress from AM change to FM, then FM change to format radio, where it's less talk, more music, that kind of thing. Now it's back to long form, but it's more internet based, online based, right? And then there was a term saying that video killed the radio star. No, it didn't happen. Radio survived. Radio started during the war, right? It was meant to connect with each other and giving information about what's happening, but then it became more entertainment based, right? Because it was needed to just listen and less of that production where everything was done very simple with the mic and audio and connection and frequency. Okay, now it has become some sort of like, okay, if I don't have internet access and all that, what do I do? I try to find a frequency and try to get information and try, so these are the things that you look out for, because in areas like East Malaysia, for instance, right, internet is not strong.
Yeah.
Because of the geographic patterns over there is very different lah. There's so much of mountains and all that, the pockets of areas not reachable and all that. But frequency for FM is still needed because it's easier to access. So I guess the importance of radio is still relevant until today. And because license for radio, it is still the most unique in Malaysia, because we not only we have diverse cultures, we have different languages, right? Malay, English, Chinese, Tamil, okay? And you don't talk about the other states lah, like Kelantan, Terengganu, like I just said, why we did Molek. And then Sabah and Sarawak, they have their own lingo, right? Same thing, right? Those are the things that we are also seriously looking at as well. And then other countries in Asia, the radio frequencies only focus in one area. That means in Jakarta, one station is just in Jakarta. If you go to Bandung, it's got to be different license. It cannot be the same. This kind of things is different. For us, one license, we can cater to the whole nation. Unless if we do it, just focus on certain areas and one license for one frequency, but it's more like located, okay, for Negeri Sembilan, for Melaka and all that. But if there's a need for it, you do it. If you can monetize it, you do it. So that's where the business lies. But to me, radio, it's the same thing. It's content. If you have really serious passion about creating content, because that's the world that we live in now, is content creation, right? Then don't limit yourself. Radio does create content. That's what we do. And then we are fast at it. That means every day we must come up with something new to entertain the audience, depending on the language again, and then also the demographic. If you're going for the funnies, the haha, okay, there's a station for that. If you're going for the serious, factual, there's a station for that, So find your passion, what do you want to do? If you love talking and audio is a thing for you and all that, then, don't look far. Radio is it. Just find the opportunity to get in and learn your curves, because I can tell you right now, I'm not being, let's say, how do you say, because I do have some talks that I've done with some graduates from Unita and these things lah. What you learn in school for broadcasting, maybe in Mascom or what, right, is totally different from real life of radio network. So it's very fast paced. Radio is very fast paced, and I can tell you this, it's even faster than TV, right? And we are always on the ball. In fact, I don't have my weekends. I don't have my public holidays. I'm always on the ball with something. And sometimes my nights, there's be some emergency and all that, something is happening. But because I love to do that and I want to give the right information to the public, I have to be on top of it. And if you have that passion, I think even in social media, it's the same thing, right? It's a 24-hour thing. It's always something happening. Sometimes 3 a.m, you have some content you want to push out, boom, you want to get people to watch it and like and viral. So it depends on what you want to do. If content is it, radio is part of that content ecosystem already, right? If visual is it, then it's the digital content. Also, radio is part of it already, right? It's about understanding what your passion is, because I started not knowing that I'm good at doing radio. In fact, I still think that I'm not good at doing radio. I so happen to learn my ways and understand the business curves and all that. Now understanding it a bit more better and better and better. And I do keep learning. But as long as you don't stop learning, because when you graduate and you go to the workforce, the real life, don't say that, oh, I've graduated, that means I know what to do already. No, you keep learning when you get into when you get into the professional workforce in any company, and understand how you want to do it and implement your skills into it and keep improving.
Thanks, Mr. Nazri. I think you've answered almost all of the questions here. But
I hope so.
yeah, I think you covered most of it, almost all of it. But I just wanted to ask you whether it's okay, because this interview is supposed to be a written interview. But from what I'm listening here now, there's a lot of good advice, and like you say, nothing beats the audio. Is it okay that I will give you a recording of this, and if there's anything you want to edit, because we also have, everybody has podcast, we also have a podcast. If it's okay, we want to put up on our podcast also.
Oh, you want to put on your podcast? That's great.
Okay, that's good.
Where do you put your podcast?
On Spotify.
On Spotify, I see. I mean, you can put it on Audio Plus if you're interested. We can talk.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We did 5 episodes so far, but we're coming with a new content for the new one. But since I'm in the interview, I thought this is good also to be put up also.
Okay.
So
if you think it's good, then I'm okay. No problem.
I will contact you again to talk about how we put our content on Audio Plus after this,
Sure.
after Chinese New Year.
No problem.
I think that's it. But I got a question also. What band were you playing at, and what instrument do you play?
I'm quite shy to say that, but okay. I don't know if you know lah.
I'm not into the indie scene, so I'm not so sure. But I just try.
It's fine. My band was called Project AK. So the band is actually like a rap rock type of band. I don't play instruments. So here's the thing, right? I don't play any instrument in the band. In fact, I rap in the band.
Okay.
But I do play organ, French horn, and the viola. I learned that in school. I play more classical instruments.
Nice.
I guess music was in me. So I guess I have the ears for music, entertainment and all that. So every time I listen to music, I know what's good and what's not. I can tell, I'm not a music teacher lah, but because I learned organ, French horn, and viola,
yeah,
it got me really into detail of listening to something that is good or not, because of the sheer classic of these music instruments that I play. But yeah, I play in a band, but I don't really play any of the instruments. I wish I did. It would look cool that I play the guitar and all that, right? At least drum.
No, but you're still the front man.
I'm a rapper. I haven't done that in a while, so I don't know if I can do it.
Well, thanks so much. I think this it's a very good interview. I think we learned a lot. So I want to share with some of our students that's reading or maybe listening to the podcast soon.
Sure, anything I can help. Look, if you want to do like a room of people, like a little Zoom session with a bunch of them and all that, I'm okay to do it.
Yeah,
Can do a Q&A back and forth and all that, anything they want to ask. I love to share my experience. The thing is, I guess this is the thing that I learned, and also I learned it from Jake lah. You know, I keep saying his a lot because I do learn a lot from him. I do have a lot of my heroes lah, yeah, in the world. Michael Jordan is one of it, obviously, because of his passion and his winning attitude and all that. You know, it's people like Steve Jobs and all that. I guess I learned from all these iconic people lah. But if it's Malaysia, it's definitely Dato' Jake lah, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, the thing is, the things that you learn in life, whether it's about your life and also your career, you learn so much. It's good to give back and teach other people. So I think it's meant to share.
Definitely. When we do this quite often, talks with students and all that, I'll keep you in mind for the next one.
Sure.
All right. Dania, do you have any other questions?
No, all good from my side.
Thank you so much. Actually, I want to ask you about your mentor, but you already mentioned Dato' Jake and a few people like Michael Jordan.
He's my hero lah. But yeah, but I do have. If you see here, right, on my wall, right? See, I have Michael Jordan there.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So I grew up loving his attitude, his winning attitude, and all that. Never say lose and all that. You know, you can, and also there's a lot of quotes that I keep carrying with me all the time. You know, but yeah, I just leave it at that. Like, if you know Michael Jordan, man, he's like legendary. Yeah, but in life, in general, and in Malaysia, where I am at today, I owed a lot to Dato' Jake.
Yeah, he's a icon in radio lah. Oh, and a DJ also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We will send you a draft of it and for you to go through both the audio and the written one also.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.